Introduce us to yourself.
Okay, my name is Solee. I'm a rapper from Las Vegas, and I'm an entrepreneur. Um, yeah.
So what are things like in Vegas right now? Are you guys like heavily locked down or like?
You know what? It's kind of funny. I don't think things have really changed for us that much. We've been in lockdown since last year when the first lockdown started, and like the only thing that more things are open now, actually. Like as long as you have a mask and stuff. So like, we have the grocery stores, the casinos you can go to as long as you have a mask and everything. So you can go eat at restaurants, so I don't know. So like I was talking to my brother, he's in California, and he's like, oh, they're going back to lockdown. And I'm like, what opened up? Like what's changing? No. No.
So what got you started being a musical artist?
Um, so I started making music a long time ago when I was little. Um, and it's just been kind of like a lifelong passion. It just has changed. Like I've always I'm Turkish, so we have a lot of like drums and dancing, belly dancing music. That's kind of like our genre of music. And sometimes you can hear like Timbaland in his songs when he gets like certain flutes or drums. Like those are kind of like our region inspired. So musically, I've always been more attracted to hip hop and rap, and being like an immigrant culturally too. So I've always been like a fan of rap and hip hop. And DMX was like one of my first favorite artists. I'm like the biggest DMX fan. I love him. Um, I don't know. I could go on. I don't know if you want me to keep going on.
So you commented that you're an immigrant. When did you first come to America?
I was, I think I was about 5 or something. So I was pretty young.
And you
And
guys went straight to Vegas, or
no, I moved to Phoenix first. So I lived in Phoenix for a while, and then I moved to Las Vegas. And it's a mess, girl. I was born in Germany. Okay. And for those of you who don't know, which most people probably don't know, if you're born in Germany, it doesn't mean anything. Like I'm not German at all. Some people are like, oh, if you're born in Germany or German, I'm like, no, I'm Turkish. My parents are Turkish. I was born in Germany. I moved to the States, to Phoenix, when I was about 5, and then I moved to Vegas. But I've like traveled around I've lived in so many places like South Florida, North Dakota, Colorado. Um, yeah, so but I've been in the States since then.
so commenting back on your music, because your music is very eclectic, and I'm sure you get that comment a lot. Who do you study specifically to make that such a unique sound for your music?
Okay, so that's interesting. So I'm like, that's funny you say that. I think it's just who I listen to. So I'm heavily inspired by the West Coast. So I think like, not biased at all, but I think the West Coast has the best music. No, but
Fighting words for a lot of people.
right. So screw everybody else. No, but West Side, like West Side music. Like I love West Coast music, California music, Dre, Nipsey and Kendrick and everything else. So I listen heavily to them. And then Bay Area, like they have like a crazy underground music scene, really hot. Like their stuff is on a different level. And then I like Southern music too. So I listen to Southern music too. So then I guess if it's like kind of like a soup, I got those people. And then I like the lyricism of like artists like Talib Kweli. Like I'm a huge Talib Kweli fan. I think he's one of the greatest musicians, MCs, lyricists ever, because he's able to combine like lyricism and music, like music, dancing music together. And that's hard to do. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the time it's hard to do. So I have that. And then of course I have like the Turkish cultural, like I listen to Turkish music that like nobody here would probably know unless you're Turkish, like Barış Manço, Cem Karaca, and then Girl, I'm very international. I listen to lots of I work with Nigerian artists. So I listen to like Baba Mal. I listened to him for a long time. Zap Mama. When you talk about underrated, she's like insane. And then I like K-pop.
Everyone likes K-pop. Should I start listening to them?
Huh?
Should I start listening to K-pop? Because I feel like everyone likes
Yeah,
them.
you should. They're insane.
Okay, so why is political poetry important to art?
Okay. So first I want to show you something because I promised you.
Yes.
You feel me? So
Be comfortable.
So, Matchin, you inspire me, girl. I love you. I love you. Anybody who is here because of me, please follow her. She's amazing. Seriously, she's amazing. I love you. So, and I think that kind of ties into what you asked, like, political. Could you ask the question again exactly?
Yeah. So why is political commentary important to art?
I think it's just my personal perspective, but I feel like I have a voice and I want to use it. Like, why? I don't want to say why make art because like you want to make art to be beautiful too, but I think it's a personal thing, because for me personally, I like to speak through my art no matter what it is, whether it's a drawing or a song. And I try to either bring up, try to bring up a point, have something like for the listener to think about or something that I feel like I have to express, you know? So I don't know. I think it might be like a political thing because I do take time. I try to listen to also like non-political people too because sometimes it's a lot. You know what I mean? So you gotta try to balance out.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about Exalted.
Okay.
That song plus the music video. Who did the music video for you?
Oh, I did that.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
How long did it take you to edit that?
A long time.
I loved it.
Oh, thank
And,
you.
I was listening to it while I was working. I found myself I couldn't focus on work because it was such a I can never say that word. It was a cacophony of sounds,
Uh-huh.
and there's so much symbolism, and it's also kind of borderline erotic. Not even looking at the video, just listening to the words, it's very erotic. So what was the message that you were trying to convey with that song, Exalted?
So, I went on a journey studying Judaism a couple of years ago, and they considered the priest, the Cohen, that would go to the Beis Hamikdash, the altar of God. It was like an exalted position, and so like that's where I kind of got it from. And also, there was a time period where the Cohen, according to like the religious commentators, people were not following the rules, and there were people who had to clean up the altar where there would be like sacrifices made, and it was like a smoky area. There was a lot of smoke. In fact, a lot of people say that they used to smoke weed then too. It's part of the sacrificing, side note. But people would kept on dying. The Cohen, the priest, kept on dying. They would go in there, and according to like the religious version commentators, they would die because they were not worthy of being in the space. They got to a point where there was this guy, this priest, this Cohen, who was chosen to do this. And remember, like, imagine how scary this is. Like, everybody before you died,
Yeah.
and now
Yeah.
you got this job. So, so what they did is they would tie like a rope around his waist when he would go in, and nobody else was allowed, just him. So they would tie a rope around his waist, and then he would go in, and then like they would check to see if he's alive. And the interesting thing is one of the people that I follow now, like one of their commentaries is they use this as like also a metaphor for intimacy, going to a sacred space, like when you have an intimate relationship. And they're saying like you're entering a sacred space, like as far as like a woman's body, you know, if you're going into
Yeah.
a woman's body, he's like, you don't own that. You were never really there. You're just a visitor. So, and they just like kind of make like that simile, and that's why like it kind of inspired me. I think it's really interesting. That story has always stuck with me, like the guy like wrapped the rope around my waist. So that's where I got that little line, wrapped the rope around my waist. So that's where I got that from. So yeah.
Now I need to re-listen to it. Oh my gosh. You have to do another music video to that though.
I agree. I have to re-record the song too. So, but
I love the song so much. Okay. Let's talk about women's rights.
Yay.
So what's more important, equal pay or protesting for the right to be topless?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. Mm, I don't know if I can. I mean, I like money, so I'm gonna kind of go towards the money, you know. But I mean, there would have,
And,
I
and
would have,
to,
huh?
and to provide some context where I got that question from. So you have skits on your YouTube channel.
Right.
The majority of them are commentary on women's issues.
Yep.
And I thought that one skit about where she was in the hijab and she was
Right.
like, "What are you protesting?" She's like, "We protesting for others to be topless." And I was like, "That's it's so like right here." You know what I'm saying? Like it's like it hits the nail on the head right here, but it's like it's like no one's getting that, you know? And I love your thoughts on that.
Thank you for asking that. And that's how I feel too. I feel like feminism, like women's rights, has like gone. I mean, I have all respect. Like one of the things I knew, like going into this industry, I feel like one of the things I want to try to do is not disrespect any women in the industry. And I mean, like the things we have it so hard. It's like it's always like a lose-lose for us. You know, like if we want to try to do something, you know, then it's like, oh, you're exposing yourself, you're doing this, and there's all these titles, you know what I'm saying? And then on the other hand, and then if you don't, it's like we're always like end up being put in a box. So you know, so of course equal pay, I feel like that's very important, but at the same time, when there are restrictions on us as far as like, you know, being topless or whatever, like I don't have a negative judgment whether if somebody wants to be like a OnlyFans person, if they want to twerk and stuff like that. We have a saturation of that in our culture, so that's why it's easier to kind of just look at that like, damn, you know what I mean? I feel like we're underrepresented in some fundamental women's rights. We talk about feminism, but I mean, like, are we protecting mothers? Like what about moms? You know what I'm saying? Like people talk about all this stuff and they have such this like protection as far as like hypersexuality that we have here. But then when you talk about women, like as far as certain things that is, you know, unique to being a woman, being able to have children, all of a sudden you don't have that same like, you know, fervor or protesting or protection. I just think that's one area we need to improve on. I don't know if that answered your question. I feel like I'm
No,
monologuing.
no, that for sure does it for sure does. How important are female role models?
Mm, super important.
Why?
That's a good question. I mean, so like I said, I'm Turkish, and in my family, growing up, like people who, I know people who are like have the ideology or live with the practice of like women belong in the kitchen, literally. Like when men come over, you're not allowed to go hang out with company.
Mm-hmm.
You go to another room. And that's happening today. We have, you know, like the sex slave trade going on today. Um, and people are in a sense like okay with it when you have, because there's not an outrage, you know. And I know there's so many messed up things happening in the world, but um when you have women role models, especially as a young woman, you know you can do this. Like, you got this, you can do this, somebody else is doing it, and it doesn't put you in a like box or square. And I made a video on that too, as far as like you know, this is dude, just interrupt me if I talk too much, okay?
No, I want you to talk. I want you to talk.
Okay, so like and this kind of goes into my thoughts honestly about, there's like a white supremacy ideology in this country, a male white supremacist ideology. So when you have that, as far as like in the educational institution, you go to school, and basically what you learn at a public school is that just white men did shit. You know, everybody else is a side note. Oh, there was a woman here, maybe in the back, like one sentence. But then you have these pages and biographies of all these white men that did all these things. And I thank God, like I feel like I'm in a unique position because I'm international, you know? And I thank God for that, because it's like I see these other things. I'm like, nobody even talks, like, you don't go to school and you don't learn about like the truth, as far as like, well, you know, well, what was white America or Europe doing when China was writing and reading, and y'all couldn't even do that yet. And all the empires in Africa and the queens. I remember going to school, and I know this is like women, but it's bigger than just women. I feel like it's a human thing, you know, because it gets taken away from us. Like, we did that. There were African queens ruling all by themselves. No, like they weren't like a sub, you know what I mean? In Africa, and in the kingdom of Kush. And like, and people, if it doesn't fit their narrative, they want to take it away. There's no doubt in my mind that there are so many other women, like if we're going to talk about just inventors or people, that women that have done so many things or contributed, that have gotten erased because it doesn't fit their narrative, you know? So so it's important, because especially when you're little, and I think as an adult we get to have more perspective, but especially when you're little, you look at people, we're social animals. We look at other people to see what we can be, what we can become. And when you don't see those things, or you see them represented continually, like for so many years in the United States, in our society, all you see women as are objects. You know, on the cover of magazines, you see women looking beautiful, and that's it. Like, kind of going back to what I said about the women's right with like being mothers. Like, do you see like women being uplifted? Oh, like, look at this mom, she's, you know, taking care of her kids. Like, let's just say stay-at-home mom, like one of the most hated people. I feel like, you know, it's like, oh, like she's taking care of her family. Like, that's not, when we use the word like exalted, like in our society, like that's not looked up upon almost. I hate to say it, but it's like you know, so those are the people you look up to. You look up to the people that you see in the magazine. You're like, oh, okay, well, what is she doing? Well, she's, you know, got this body shape. She did this to her face. She did that. She did that. Okay, so I want to be successful. I want to be happy. I want to be, you know, with somebody, and this is what you think men look for. You think that's what you need. So those role models are like super important, you know.
So as a female artist, do you feel that you have to behave a certain way, look a certain way in order to be acknowledged?
Yes.
Do
Absolutely.
you mind elaborating on that?
I don't mind. I'd love to. You know, I feel like uh, that's also part of the reason I got into the game. You know, it's really important to me. I mean, I love music in general, but it's frustrating as a female hip hop rap artist. There are more of us now, but it's so frustrating because it's like, you look at Nicki Minaj, and before she had any surgeries, she was a tight rapper. She was rapping for a long time, you know?
Yeah.
and you look at the things she kind of had to do, wanted to do, or had to do to try to get on, it's kind of insane in my opinion. So you know, it's like almost like a I don't know. I think that today with social media, we have more, as artists, we have more control in our hands. So I know when I was younger, I didn't want to be signed to anybody because I didn't want to do what they wanted me to do. You know, I can't tell you. I know you as a beautiful woman too. I know you get these kind of things all the time too. And I mean, like, I get these kind of stuff, like messages all the time. Like before I was rapping, when I first started, they're like, "Oh, we want to sign you." I'm like, dude, I haven't even done anything yet, you know? But all people who have ulterior agendas that want to use you, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I think it's important. And I mean, like, I, for one, would like to be a voice for women who, like, it's not that I don't want to be, like, I'm not super conservative, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, like, I don't need to or don't want to be, like, all the way turned up all the fucking time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so, you know, and then like some of the songs, I'm like, dude, like, where are your bars? Like, what are you talking about? And I hope that.
Oh my God. Yeah, yeah.
So, and it's like, I'm like walking here, like I said earlier, I don't want to disrespect women because I feel like this wave, I hope they get us in and they help us come through there. There are other female rap artists that I know. I don't know if you know Snow the Product. Do you know her?
Mm-mm.
She is also an independent artist and she's really incredible too, but she, like, you will not see her doing those type of things, you know what I'm saying? So like, I want our women's voices to be heard outside of that, like our voices to be heard, period. You know what I mean?
It's you've mentioned this a couple of times about like not wanting to disrespect other women, but I honestly sincerely feel like there really isn't any beef between women at all in any industry. It's mainly with the male industry, you know, with them like shooting and stabbing each other. So why do you think there's not as much controversy with female artists in the game?
I mean, there's so few of us. Especially,
That's true.
oh,
Wow.
in like, as far as when you talk about rap, hip hop, I mean, there are so few of us. I mean, there was a beef with Nicki Minaj and Cardi B for a while. I don't know. I think they're still kind of like.
I mean, they just want to fight. That was just ego, though. That was just ego.
So I don't know. I think that there's so few of us. I think it's hard though. From my experience, like dealing with other underground female hip hop or rap artists, it's hard dealing with female artists because there are so few of us that we have to fight. I don't know. I got a phone call.
Okay.
But
could you say that again? We have to fight over. Say that one more time.
Yeah, it's kind of like crabs in a bucket. You know what I mean? So it's like we have like it's I find it difficult to find female artists to work with, to even have on my show, because you know I have an underground hip hop show. There's few of us there, and then it's and I mean, like, I don't know exactly why. Just from my personal experience, I think that maybe it's because in a lot of the industries, and not just hip hop, but like in life in general as women, it's, unless you're in a woman centric business, a lot of the time there's like competition, like, because there's just less of us. I don't know. It's just not a lot of support, to be honest with you. I don't feel like there's that much female support. Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
No, I do agree with you because
Really?
when I try to reach out to people to interview, I always get that kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for without sounding rude, whatever, I don't care. That kind of like challenging from women, that negative feedback from women being like, well, who are you? Why should I come on your channel? And but with guys, they're like, yeah, I'll do it. You know?
Yes, exactly. And I talked about this with my crew. It's like, it's either they think they're too good or they think they're not good enough. It's hard.
That's so weird. Why do we do that to each other?
Oh, girl, you know what? It's bad. Uh, it's definitely toxic for sure. I think it's because we've been suppressed as women for so long that we have like a very, as far as other women, we have like a very like insecure, individualistic mind state. Honest, it's ugly, but it's okay because I feel like it gets hopefully just gets better. You
It
know.
will. I mean, like we're taking the right steps, you and I. You
Yeah.
know. Okay. I love Sunset Dreams, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I love that song. That was one of my
I had to say that. I listened to it like 5 times. Okay, so let's talk about your merch line.
Yay.
It's so cute.
Oh, thank you.
Did you design everything yourself? How long have you been doing this?
Um, I've been an artist as well, like my whole life, like musically, it's like all kind of similar related. Yeah, most of almost everything in like my store is like custom made, handmade. They're all one of a kind pieces, you know, that you're not gonna find anywhere else. Yeah, I design them myself. Either I draw them or, you know, make them. Yeah, I make them. Or sometimes I make them myself, like here, hand press them or whatever. It's fun.
No, you don't.
Some of them, yeah. So,
How do you have the time to do everything?
you know what? It's
Say it. You're gonna say something. Say it.
everything doesn't, you know what? The thing is, I everything just doesn't end up being perfect. You just gotta be okay with just taking like I made a post about a step at a time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so you just gotta take those small steps, even whether it's like whether I'm making music or doing something with my kids or the merch or whatever. It's like you just gotta keep doing just like a little step at a time, and then be okay. Like I'm okay with the messes. Like I've gotten to the point, and with lockdown, there's no school here. You know, like my kids are homeschooled on top of that, you know? So just I just come to the mindset like, okay, you know what? I'm just okay with this. I try to focus on what's important, prioritize, you know?
Hmm. Interesting. Okay, so now let's talk about your talk show that you do where you feature underground artists. How long have you been doing that for? How can someone get involved with that?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I've been doing it since I don't know, maybe like March or April, I think. And you just have to DM me, just send me a message, you know, or I find artists that I like. And I love music. I love the underground music scene. I love hip hop and rap. It's like my soul. I wish I could just you know, I guess I think I do that with my music, you know. So, and it's something that I mean nobody pays me to do it, you know what I mean? But
But you pay people.
I just
You do a
started.
raffle.
Yeah, so I just started that because before I was giving prizes to like the people that would watch, but then now I was like, you know what? I want to take it. I'm like, I don't want to say next level because you know the show's next level, but I want to take it to the next level. So, and I was like, I love giving back to the community, and that's like one of my things. So, like, I want to give back to people, and then I thought, you know what? Underground artists, like a lot of them are struggling. We're struggling, or we're trying to find our way. You're trying to get paid, or you're just like in that you don't know if you're quite making that money to support yourself. You might be, you might not be, you know what I mean? So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna start paying the artist, you know. And then I don't know, that thought just came to me and I was like, yeah, like I want to do something else to help support them because I want to have people listen to their music and it's fun. Like there's such great music out there. And I saw somebody here earlier, like some of my people, like I know I've broke Robbie's gonna be coming on soon, and Slim, I don't know if he's still here.
His
I,
new song was so cool.
who's
Brooke Robbie's new song,
yes.
so cool, so unique. I really enjoyed Bama Race. What was that, yesterday or the other day?
Yeah, on Thursday. So
Bama Race. Brooke Robbie, what's up, man?
that's like,
Okay. What's your tattoo?
oh, which one? I have a lot.
How many tattoos do you have?
um,
Oh, Bama Race, I didn't know you were here. Bama Race, why didn't you say
yeah.
something? We're here talking about you. Okay, sorry. What's your tattoo?
I actually, I don't know if you can see it. I actually have a tattoo on my face here. It's like a little flower. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right
Uh-uh.
there. And then this one's my son. I don't know which one are you thinking. This one?
Yeah.
That's my son's name. Yeah, that's
Oh.
Zaza Kali. So, and then I have some other, my ex. Don't, my ex's name.
What is that main one right there that we're all seeing?
This one is a dragon.
Yes.
Yeah, so this one's a dragon, and I actually it has my birth year, and it's like backwards. It's like 1789 for the year of the French like Revolution and stuff like that when they took down. So I've been political for a while. So for the French Revolution, as far as when they took down like the monarchy and stuff like that. So I think I don't know. I've always been like kind of like politically activated. So that one, yeah, that's my dragon. Love my dragon.
Is that your favorite part of history?
Like the French Revolution?
Yeah.
Nah.
What's,
I,
what's, what's what's your favorite part of history? I love history.
that's
I
interesting.
never get to talk to people about it.
That's interesting. Oh man, you know what? You're gonna hate me. I just try to stay present. I
I
try,
know, I love that. I love that.
so I don't know. I try to stay present. My brother was a history major, so I left the history stuff to him.
Love it, love it, love it. Okay. Why is chasing knowledge so important?
Ooh, because knowledge is power. Period. Like if you don't have knowledge, then people are gonna manipulate you. You know. I tell my kids this too. I tell them like, dude, you guys got to go to college. I don't even care if you use the degree or not. But when I see people get manipulated because they don't know something, you know, and that's, um, you know, somebody holding power over you. And it's just like the more knowledge you have, the more power you have, period. Whether it's whatever you're doing, you know?
Okay, so where can we like you, stalk you, follow you, all that fun stuff?
Yeah, you can follow me on my Instagram, which is official Solee. And then, I mean, I have my YouTube channel, and then I have, you know, everything else, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, whatever is your preferred
I
choice.
have a stupid question.
Sure, this one here.
So when you upload your music to YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, do you have to do them all separately, or is it like is there like a website you can do them all at once?
Nah, I have to do them all separately at this point. I found like some apps that are
Oh.
supposed to do all this stuff, but they don't work. They haven't worked for me. So I just have to go in there and do, you know, post them up and everything else like that.
That's so tedious.
Yeah, it is. I mean, if you find something that works, because I know you do.
I am not a musician, and I do not want to go down that because I feel like you guys work. I feel like musicians work so hard, and like you guys are so underappreciated. And I
Oh,
don't know, like I feel like this is like the least I can do to help you guys. The
I really,
bare minimum I can do.
yeah, I really appreciate it. I mean, I love making music. I want to create vibes for people, you know, something everybody can enjoy and or make you think or whatever. And then, you know, as an artist, I do want to say too, like, and that's one of the things that I want to help people with is that kind of like what you said, as a musician, if you are even, most of us don't get paid when you listen to our music. And it's like the
No.
pay rate off top platforms like iTunes, which I have music on iTunes, but it's like 0.002. So it's like not even a cent per stream, which is why I also have my merch line. So it's a way for you to be able to support me as an artist, you know, in a different way and hopefully get some cool, you know, get some cool stuff out of it. So I always tell artists too, I'm like, you guys got to have, you know, something else you're selling, whether it's hoodies or something like that, some way. So people can support you, you know, because people are always looking for supporting other artists, you know, or even what you do, you know, like it'd be tight to have like a hoodie with like your name or, you know what I mean? Something on it, just be tight, you know? So
I love that. Oh my God. Okay, last question. I'm gonna let you go.
for sure.
I'm just gonna do it. So I heard something yesterday and it really, really disturbed me.
Uh-huh.
and we've been talking about we've mainly been talking about feminism during our conversation, and forgive me because I feel like we should talk more about your music, but
That's okay.
so I heard something yesterday where there was a 16-year-old girl who was pregnant, depressed, and suicidal. If in some way, shape, or form there is some kind of girl listening to this right now who's in a similar situation, what would you say to her?
Love yourself. Like, fuck everybody else, you know, love yourself. Don't worry about everybody else. Believe in yourself, trust in yourself. You can do this, you got this, you know? That would be my core thing is love yourself. And I don't mind, I can talk about that all day too. So people are going to try to put titles on you. It doesn't matter who you are. And in social media, we can see that today. You can go to the top artists and you see people say some disgusting stuff to them, you know, and people you respect, you're like, oh my God. So even those people have haters, you know, so just don't worry about them and just love yourself in your core and your heart, you know, don't worry about anybody else and be practical with it. You know, it's hard to love yourself when you don't know, when people have been hating on you for so long. If you're in a condition where you're depressed, suicidal, I mean, your people around you might be a poisonous like environment, the things you hear and repeat in your head. So listen to affirmations, you know, journal your goals as far as what you want to do, who you want to be, who you want to be around, and then it's okay to feel. It's okay to feel all your emotions. So I would definitely say that.
You're so cool.
Oh, thank you.
You're the only reason why I would go to Vegas. Only that. I don't know how like normal people live there. Like, what is it like there? Like, is it like scary?
That's so funny. Okay, it is a little scary. But it's fun, man. It's like, I mean, it's like the world's playground, you know? There's so many things to do here. I spent a lot of years here in my youth. I grew up here. So when I was little, I mean, I used to go to the arcades. I don't even gamble. I don't look, I'm probably one of the cleanest. I'm trying to stay good, but like I don't really drink, I don't really smoke, I don't gamble, you know. I don't do any of that stuff. So, but like people have the money and the imagination here. So you have like really cool art here too. Like at the Bellagio, they have the inside botanical garden where, have you been there?
No, I want to go there.
They change it every like 4 times a year. It's insane. Like I took some pictures of it right before COVID and they have just like real flowers. It's like I can't even describe it, you know. It's like there's real flowers making like these crazy shapes of animals, and it was the year of the rat, so they had like these rat things in gold, and sometimes they have like people like women or somebody dressed up in full like body suits of like some kind of thing doing acrobatics. You know, we do the most. Doing the most. We got and stuff. Yeah, like paradise with a roof. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, you got to know yourself. You got to be careful. You know, we have a lot of people that come out here and get too turned up.
Dope. Well, I really appreciate you talking with me, Solee. This is very educational for me. And thank you for being in your bra. Yes. Or your sports bra.
It's
like
a bra. It's just a sports bra, right?
It's just a bra. Like, we're all adults here.
And I have to say too, you are so amazing. You truly inspire me. I love you. I love watching you. I watch your YouTube, your short clips on IG, and I watch them on YouTube too. And you, being vulnerable, being open, being in your bra, being you, dancing, I freaking love you. You are like, when we talk about feminism, you are empowerment, like, period. Yes. You're like, what? Yes. You are empowerment. Like when I watch you, I'm like, this girl out here, like, yes, you know, you inspire me. You know, you really do. So thank you for being you.
Thank you. That's okay. I'm gonna go. I'll message you later, okay?
Oh, you're so sweet. I love you. Thank you for
I
having
love you.
me. Bye, you guys.